black coat for Fluffy, too? The image of Ian's small, ecstatic white fluff ball of a dog in a costume almost melted me on the spot. "What now?" he asked. "Nothing," I choked out, fanning myself with my hand. "Absolutely nothing." He shifted in his seat, reminding me of the breadth of his shoulders and the muscles on display under the cover of macho goth as he crossed his arms over his chest. Being a semi-retired bounty hunter and running a repairs and remodeling company on the side kept Ian Cavalier in shape. That and walking the dogs, I supposed, and taking care of the old cemetery he owned. We were a little weird here in Olmeda. On his paranormal side, Ian was a shifter who refused to have anything to do with the local pack. The feeling was mutual, which was a shame, because the local pack was led by his half-brother. Not for the first, or second, or 10th time. I checked the 30 or so people present, but Ian's brother was nowhere to be seen. About 3 weeks ago, after I'd survived the attempted murder and theft of my witch shop, Derek Hutton had appeared at my back door and dropped the following ominous words: "I need more of my special potion." As a council-sanctioned witch shop owner, it was my duty to provide potions to the local paranormal community. Shifters, mages, demons, berserkers, and what have you. Unfortunately, as a council-sanctioned witch shop owner, I was not a psychic and couldn't read Hutton's mind. Therefore, I had no clue what his special potion was. A potion that allowed one to know someone else's thoughts had yet to be invented. However, a potion that would force someone to talk to you could be arranged, provided you were into illegal things like dark magic. Alas, that was not the way of the Oak's Avery witches. Grandma's and my way. Besides, to use such a potion, you'd need to be near the person. And so far, Hutton had proved beyond elusive. I didn't have his number. The official pack phone receptionist had told me they'd pass on the message more times than I was willing to admit. And Drew's friend of a friend of a friend, who knew someone in the pack, had netted 0 results for other phone numbers. I'd hoped to catch Hutton at the PBOA meeting, but he was apparently too busy to attend. A glance at Ian told me he was focused ahead, his mouth a straight line, his body language one of touch me and die by extreme negative temperatures, which was funny, considering how much body heat he could produce if you weren't careful. I could ask him for Hutton's private number. Being a bounty hunter, it wouldn't be too difficult for him to procure the number from one of his many contacts. But if I asked him, he would want to know why I needed the number. And I wasn't sure I wanted to tell him about Hutton's cryptic request. Here's the thing. My lovely, cozy, modern, witchy vibes tea shop, with an occultism, tarot, and Wicca products bookshelf, also happened to be a murder house used by a dark witch for decades to peddle highly illegal, morally bankrupt, bad for the soul dark magic. Said witch now haunted my shop. But that wasn't the problem. The problem was I couldn't be sure if Hutton had meant a normal special potion or a special potion. Until I was sure he wasn't asking for dark magic, I wasn't telling anything to anyone, family connections or not. What if he'd meant dark magic? If I told Ian and it turned out Hutton was doing something illegal, how would he take it? I didn't want to make their relationship worse than it already was. Ian might proclaim he had no love for his little brother, but I'd noticed signs that told me otherwise. Besides, he'd chosen Olmeda to semi-retire and start his other business, hadn't he? Perhaps deep inside he was looking to close the breach their parents had created. Sonia clapped her hands to gain everyone's attention, and I sat up straight, afraid I'd gotten caught not paying attention. Thankfully, her scowl was directed at the papers on the table. "Next," she announced. "Shifters meeting. Is everything ready? Hollis and the Donovans are already settled into the B&B. Is the pack ready?" "Yes, Sonia," a young woman answered from the first row. It was the first time I'd seen her at a meeting, which wasn't saying much considering this was only my third one. But it told me Hutton liked to cycle his PBOA meeting envoys. In any case, she had eaten one of my